Stewart. 28 years in the making. The New York Liberty are WNBA champions. The original franchise has its very first title.
Seriously, this WNBA season has been a season, if you will, of absolute drama. From the time Caitlin Clark actually announced she was actually going to be entering the WNBA, all the way through to the overtime performance by the New York Liberty in Game 5. To actually seal the deal, the Liberty actually scored their first WNBA title. It has been 28 years since this franchise has actually been around, and I have to say, Game 5 was absolute drama. Welcome to the WNBA Rundown on our underrated channel. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and of course, like this video. Every single subscription and like certainly helps us grow the channel and is greatly appreciated.
Winning in Seattle was amazing, and nothing takes away from that. But to be able to bring the first ever to the Liberty, and the first in 51 years, like you guys know, my first WNBA game I ever went to was at MSG, was the Liberty, and to have that be full circle was amazing. And today, like throughout my whole day, everybody was texting me like, how are you? You ready? Like all these things, like do your thing. And I was calm. Like I was ready because I knew that no matter what, the city was going to have our back. And they showed up and they showed out, and they continued to be there for us when we need. And I'm so proud of this team, but so happy to be able to bring the first championship here because the city deserves it. And listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen this next week, but I'm sure it's going to be crazy.
Let's go.
If you take a look at the stats from today's Game 5 game, you'll see that Breanna Stewart had 13. We know she totally struggled from the free throw line, especially down the stretch, though she did make 2, which helped actually put the game into overtime. I want to be really clear here. The Minnesota Lynx certainly had an opportunity in regulation to actually win this game. That didn't happen. New York did a good job actually forcing overtime, and in overtime, both teams basically struggled to score. With the Liberty actually winning the game, final there was 67-62. And now the Liberty's other big star on their team, Sabrina Ionescu, certainly did struggle in this particular game. She actually finished with 5 points, though she did have 8 assists. She hustled a lot. She had 7 rebounds as well. From a scoring perspective on the Minnesota Lynx side of the court, I mean, just how great is Napheesa Collier? I mean, seriously, 22 points in tonight's game, 7 rebounds and 2 assists. But as I mentioned, sort of down the stretch in the fourth quarter, in the last minute of the game, basically Collier was 1 layup away from actually sealing the deal for the Minnesota Timberwolves, which didn't, of course, happen. And we did hear the Frank Sinatra music play for the New York Liberty tonight. Look, just personally, I just want to say congrats goes out to the New York Liberty organization, to the management, to the coaches, and of course to the players and fans as well. It was a great season for the Liberty. They certainly were the best team in the W all season. I thought this was a fantastic, if you will, WNBA Finals. Probably the best WNBA Finals I've seen. And I'm sure the ratings for this will be absolutely off the hook. Now, as you know, we've done a bunch of videos this year on the WNBA, specifically around Caitlin Clark and the effect that Caitlin Clark has had on the WNBA. And I think it's important to note that it's not just Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. As we all know, it's the WNBA was here long before Caitlin Clark and will be here long after that. But when you think about the new fans that have come to the sport, the new fans that actually experienced this 5-game WNBA final series. Now, if you haven't heard, next season it's going to be a 7-game series, just like they do in the National Basketball Association, which of course I think is a really good thing. Ultimately, though, there were I guarantee, a bunch of new people who tuned in to watch this year's WNBA Finals that wouldn't have done it if it had not been for the Caitlin Clark effect. Now, I like to talk about not necessarily just Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the rest of the rookies or the veterans or the how USA basketball totally screwed up this year. Look, the title of today's podcast is really just absolute drama, which is exactly what this entire WNBA season has been. And I think when we take a look at the ratings when they come out in 24 hours, we're going to understand that absolute drama, all of the drama around Caitlin Clark, all of the drama around Angel Reese, all of the drama in this specific series about the play on the court, none of the off the court stuff, absolutely is going to resonate with the audience. And I think we're going to see record WNBA Finals ratings. All right. That is all I have for you tonight. I just wanted to get a quick instant reaction out on what went down in the WNBA. Once again, congrats goes out to the New York Liberty. Always good to hear Frank Sinatra sing as well. For the WNBA, or for the WNBA, for the WNBA rundown, I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day. To the cool new music we go.
This is Phoenix.